Welcome, fellow YouTube enthusiasts. Jesus here, and we have another Pokemon X and Y OU battle. But what is special about this battle right here is it is the 50 subscriber special. Could not have happened without you guys. This is great. Thank you so much. And you may think, why is this the 50 subscriber special? Well, you may have seen by the time in the video that it is a bit longer than usual. So that does call for maybe slightly more epics of battles going on here. So, this guy has a Heatran and a Celebi, and before those things were non-existent, not even in the Pokésphere, not even in the Kalos region. But then the Pokebank opened up his doors for business. Just grabbing them loans, grabbing that money. So, let's do the battle. Now, Weevil's really important for me, so I decided to lead out with him just because, hey, I can screw something up. And what happens, unfortunately, I end up killing the one thing that, like, is honestly almost completely useless against my team. So I killed Starmie. I don't have any form of entry hazards, so yeah, it didn't really matter killing Starmie right away. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to go into my Rotom Wash as he goes into this Infernape. He's going to U-turn the hell out of there. I'm like, uh-oh, these games. So he goes into the Celebi. I do need to check it in case he carries a Leaf Storm. And he does, so that is a good thing. We did end up checking it. Now, he's going to switch into a Heatran, and I was a little bit confused because I'm like, I'm this big, specially defensive wall, and Heatran can't really touch me, so I'm just going to nasty plot all the way up. Well, not really, because I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam for getting its quad weak, and then he Flash Cannons. That does way too much damage, so I'm thinking he specs. It was a critical hit, but still, that was a lot of freaking damage. So he may be specs, but, you know. So he does that to my Rotom Wash. I'm thinking, okay, my Rotom Wash completely walls this guy. Perfect. However, he shows the Solar Beam with the Power Herb. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I brought in my Latias there. That is some power. That is some tricks up his sleeve. So I'm going to go back into the Rotom Wash now, realizing I kind of completely wall this thing. But he does double into Celebi, making a great play right there. So I'm going to go into my Togekiss since I kind of screwed him over, thinking that I'm not going to be outspeeding his Heatran, so I'm not going to really have any point in the battle to ever roost. So Weevil is going to pursue here, however he stays in and goes for the U-turn. So that is a bit unfortunate, and I believe that the pursuit was not boosted, even though he did go for the U-turn. Not certain though. So, Rotom Wash coming back, and he's going to take some more U-turn damage. It's okay because I do have the Chesto Berry, and he's going to go back into his Celebi, but I'm realizing at this point that he likely doesn't have HP Fire, although it is possible, but I'm thinking because of the generation mechanics here that it is much less likely for him to have the HP Fire. So, we're going to go into our Ferrothorn here. Now, we switch out into the Rotom Wash because we realize that Rotom Wash kind of screws this guy over, which is perfect. Now, this is a perfect opportunity to just get that Chesto Resto action going right there. Get back up to that full health, and he is weak. He's going for another Overheat, which is pretty cool. And right here, we're just going to Volt Switch because he's going to switch the hell out of there. But he does go into the Mamoswine, which is a bit of a risky play, but a very nice play nonetheless. So, we go for that Hydro Pump now. I'm not worried whatsoever about Mamoswine. These can't touch Rotom Washes. This is the ultimate counter, like just the ultimate counter check everything to Mamoswine because it just doesn't touch Rotom Wash. Stone Edge maybe does like 25%. So he gets the rocks up, but that's okay because he brought in the Celebi, which is going to give me a perfect opportunity to just defog these rocks away so my Weevil will have more life throughout the battle. And even though both Infernape, Celebi doesn't get rocks, but Heatran could have rocks, I'm not really worried about any of those guys having rocks, especially the fact he has SPN on his team. So, we're going to switch the hell out of there now. Into Ferrothorn, predicting the U-turn. Really just want to build up like a little bit more passive damage on that thing because I'm kind of afraid of being able to kill him and whatever. So now we're going to have to switch that hell out into our Rotom Wash. He does go for the close combat, and that is a bad news. So, we are going to have to go into our Alakazam here, figuring that we can take a hit and then retaliate and kill because Alakazams are damn freaking fast. However, he has Choice Scarf, so that is going to be a bit of a problem. So like, Alakazam, you just died. That was our plan. So now we got to go to plan B, and plan B is Latias kills everything. So we're going to shrug off that damage and recover. And now he's just going to start putting up light screens as I go for a side shot. I think that's 11%, but I do believe the light screen did cut that in half. So on this turn, I believe I'm just going to defog away those light screens and stuff. So right now, we're just going to go for a nice conservative recover now. Oh, that would have been so nice to let off a side shock right there. But I really didn't expect him to ever switch an Infernape. I thought that was just way too risky. So we're going to hit him with a side shock on this turn, realizing that our HP is at a favorable amount where we can just recover or whatever. So we're going to just recover off this damage. I suppose we do have to fade that big 25% paralyzation chance. And we do that. Just that right there, right now. Here it goes. He's going to hit me with the flash cannon. That does way too much damage. I'm a bit shocked. A bit annoyed. I figured I'm this big, bulky, special defensive Pokemon. And this Heatran just decides to do 36% with the flash cannon. So now I'm going to go into my Ferrothorn because Ferrothorn's kind of useless now in this battle. Except for the fact that he did completely wall the Celebi, which was like, whoops. So, Latias and Celebi now going one-on-one, the battle of the flying legendary, with neither of them having flying typing. So he's going to U-turn the hell out of there again. Now, hopefully this time he goes into the Infernape, but he doesn't get so risky this time and goes into his Heatran. That big molten rock of hunk of steel is taking them hits. He goes for a flash cannon. It's like, okay, I can recover it off. Nah. So I'm like, this is becoming a problem. Rotom, you got to come in here, boy. You got to come in here. You got to give a man a hand. Taking the flash cannon, 13% quad resisted. Miss a Hydro Pump. But he goes for the Solar Beam over the Overheat. This is getting exciting. Pop him with that Hydro Pump. This is getting my washing machine's open, bellying on up, Hydro Pump blasting out. Full spin cycle right there. So he goes for that close combat, taking care of my washing machine. That has to be some recoil damage, though. That must hurt. So I figured I'll bring in my Latias, and I really didn't think that Latias could have lived a close combat at that range. But luckily for me, he switched out. So he goes for another U-turn, and this is a crucial turn. Turn number 43/42. We need to get the recover off. We got the recover off. This Latias is healthy and well, except for the paralyzation. Now he's going to switch the hell out of there again. Probably in a side shock, except I do go for the roar. Trying to get bounce, like roar scout myself back into my Weevil. However, I am gaining leftover recovery back if he wants to keep this process up. But he does go into the Infernape now, so I am going to need to recover on this time, because otherwise I'm kind of screwed. Except I may just go for the side shock. No, I do go for the recover, getting that health back. Now this Latias is so healthy. It's like if he had cancer, it just vanished away. Alrighty, so we're going to go for a nice little defog here, because we want to get rid of these hazards. They bounce back at me, and I lose my evasion, but the screens are still gone because it clears both sides of the field. 99%, that's a play. And he's going to start going for the Psychics. I'm like, oh, wow. And I didn't really realize that I completely wall him, except he probably had some sort of recovery. Now, the Pursuit just can't get the job done. All he has is Psychic, though, so I live. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to switch out of there and figure, hey, maybe he doesn't have a form of recovery, because I really need to conserve Weevil for later. And killing the Celebi, that'd be really useful. However, he does have that Morning Sun, which is kind of a pain. But I do have recovery, so I probably could take him on with my Latias pretty easily. Except I decide I'm just going to finish him off right here with the Weevil. Not gonna stall this out, because I have faith in Latias. I mean, just the purest, beautiful, legendary. Just with the power, the mind to just do it. So Latias is coming in here. We are going to need to recover, otherwise it would be GG. So we need to fade this paralyzation, go for the recover. This is a crucial turn. We get that recover. We got it. We got it. Now this Celebi, all it has to hit me is a Psychic or a Leaf Storm, but Leaf Storm's going to make it minus. So he goes and gets a crit. I'm like, no, that is such a pain. So he gets that crit there, and doesn't get a crit here, but I'm going to hit him up with another side shock. I'm like, this is favorable. I'm able to take about 12% off his health every single turn. It doesn't seem like he has any sort of recovery on his side. Doesn't have like Giga Drain or something else like that. So he gets a special defense drop, which is quite annoying after 3 or 4 psychics. It's about a 10% chance, and he gets another one, and this is why Weevil needed to stay alive. Now I'm so weak special defensively. This Latias has been brought down from like 130 to 65. It is a sad day, but I almost take Celebi out. Almost taken out. Now on this turn, I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in Leaf Storm death range, but I live with 1%. Living it with 1%. That is incredible. Shrug it off. Recover. Now it's going to take 2 more hits to kill this man. So he U-turns on this turn. I'm like, uh-oh, this is a problem. I need this recover up. I need to recover up, and get the paralyzation. And it's all over from there as he pops me with that U-turn. And that is going to be a fantastic game. Kiwi E. So good game, Kiwi E. And please, I hope you enjoy this battle. We'll have more battles on their way. They are a-coming. Goodbye, guys. Thanks once again for the 50 subscribers. Goodbye.